Jarred Vanderbilt recently on a Friday ended up signing a deal with the Lakers to come back for a guaranteed 4 years, $48 million contract, which really got some Jazz fans wondering if trading him was really the best idea for them. Thanks for tuning into the video. As always, it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Make sure to like the videos so that the algorithm knows to push the content out to more viewers. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one. I will be the first person to say that I am of the camp that says that trading for Jarred Vanderbilt to go to the Lakers was a good idea. Admittedly, they don't have any players from that trade still on the Jazz roster, but I don't think losing Jarred Vanderbilt was the worst thing in the world. I believe that if you're the Lakers, you really gained a quality defender who doesn't have the most polished offensive game, but it's okay because you have guys on your team like the Austin Reeves, the LeBron James, the Anthony Davises, so on and so forth, D'Angelo Russells, that just like to score the ball or are comfortable doing that sort of thing. So when you have Jarred Vanderbilt, who's more so a defensive centerpiece, not in the sense that you can scheme your entire defense around him like a Walker Kessler or Rudy Gobert, but more so as somebody that you can put on an opposing all-star caliber player and trust that even if he does still go for 25 points, it's going to be a very rough and long night for him to go ahead and earn every single bucket. Now, last season in 24 minutes, he did end up averaging 7.2 points to go alongside 6.7 rebounds and 1.6 assists. With the Lakers, he has been a very interesting piece because he hasn't really blossomed as an offensive person. However, he did make his calling card defense, in particular in one situation where he was stuck on Stephen Curry for the entirety of a game, and he looked pretty good doing it. Now, obviously, Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, so he's going to get his points one way or another. But you can force him into uncomfortable situations and make things harder for him if you play the ball game right, and Jarred Vanderbilt managed to do that very, very well. That being said, for myself personally, considering that the value of contracts has gone down in the sense that the likes of the Jaylen Browns of the world, who aren't even the best player on their team, can sign a contract for $200 million, I don't believe that it is the most likely that Jarred Vanderbilt making $48 million across 4 years is a great thing, but it's also not nearly a massive overpay. When you're paying a guy to play defense, Jarred Vanderbilt does play really good, but he's not good enough to the point where you want to scheme your entire sets around him or try and avoid him on defense or anything like that. If it was the case that way, then I believe that he would be worth 25-ish plus million dollars a year, because that's what Rudy Gobert was able to command, even beyond that. And that's why his trade value was so high at the time when he did get sent to the Timberwolves, even though he ended up having a less than desirable season after that. Now, last season, he did end up playing in a total of 78 games, and the 26 games that he played at the end of the season ended up being with the Lakers after the trade was made with the Utah Jazz, who he ended up playing 52 games. He played in 24 minutes as well with the Jazz and averaged 8.3 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. So all his numbers were slightly higher despite only playing 0.1 minutes longer than he played with the Lakers. That being said, his role was a little bit more fluid and there was a lot more wiggle to what he was required to do and what was expected of him when he played with the Jazz. But when it came to playing with the Lakers, he had a role, he had to stick to it. That was his job, nothing more, nothing less. I will stand steadfast in the idea that while it wasn't perhaps the most amazing thing that we ended up giving up on Jarred Vanderbilt, it did make sense at the time and it still makes sense, and it was not a terrible decision, simply off the strength of the fact that Jarred Vanderbilt does not have the offensive game yet that truly can complement his ability to play very well on the defensive side of the ball. If he manages to have both and they complement each other, then there's nothing really to talk about and you just have to chalk it up as a loss. But when you consider the fact that his calling card is defense, but he's not a generational defender and you can't scheme your entire concept on defense around him, it's just one of those situations where he's a really good guy on the defense side of the ball and you trust him to be on the court with your all-stars and they like having him around, which is perfectly fine. But I believe that it's only a matter of time before we really know what he is capable of doing, what he isn't, and what the value of him will look like on the open market.
But with that being said, go ahead and like the video so that the algorithm knows to push it out to more viewers. Go ahead and comment your thoughts down below. Subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and without any further ado, good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you are on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning into this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.